Hey, what is up everyone? Pastor JAMZ here back with another review, and today we have the debut album by BARDO, Everywhere Reminds Me of Space. BARDO is also known as Bardo Martinez, the lead singer of Chicano Batman, based out in Los Angeles, California, one of the founding members apart from Carlos, the bassist. And yeah, he is releasing a solo project. Over the years, he's released a couple singles solo here and there, but not a full length project. Not until a few weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, that he released his debut album. Chicano Batman's one of my favorite bands. Found them back in 2017. Really looking forward to their sophomore album and was very surprised that Freedom is Free was very amazing and just really gave a new whole sense into the little like bands that are out in California. I think that they're one of the most underrated out there. Hopefully they could just break out, and I know that they tour around the United States. I saw them once already, got to meet two of them actually. And anyways, I'm getting off track here. Yeah, they are a band based out in Los Angeles. Bardo is the lead singer, and they provide really psychedelic, groovy type uh, music and great messaging and stuff like that. So when Bardo announced his debut album, I was quite intrigued. Maybe he was going to go a different direction. Even though Chicano Batman is currently going in a different direction, I was really wondering what exactly was he trying to do apart from the band itself. 11 tracks and 33 minutes exactly. Uh, I find Bardo embarking himself on a spiritual journey in this. Everywhere reminds me of space, especially within himself, his wife, his daughter, and his whole family in general. Uh, Something that I notice about Bardo throughout the years is that he's not afraid to express the love for his family, also specifically his wife, given that she is the mother of his child and his children. I believe he also had another baby recently. Um, but yeah, the whole album revolves around, messaging wise, revolves around spiritual upbringing. Nothing really melancholy or sad, anything like that. Just really just going on this spiritual journey of finding yourself, loving his wife and his daughter. Just specifically in a general sense, that's what the whole album revolves around. And I guess that really does part from the band that he's in. Maybe it wouldn't be such a great fit throughout the whole band. Maybe they weren't really feeling the messaging, and that's fine. Bardo could really do what he wants. Honestly, he's just a member. It's not like he's departing himself from the band and creating such a similar sound or anything that he's just copying and pasting from the band and making it his own. He really is going through his own messaging and journey throughout this whole album that he saw fit that didn't really need to be with the band for this one. Um, but he does keep it original and does incorporate elements of the band into his solo album. The whole thing's very groovy. You have these synths that he always provides, even with the band. However, he does use like auto tune in like one or two tracks that that Travis Scott would use or something like that. That's about as close as I can compare it to. Is it good? It's all right. Kind of caught me off guard. Um, would have to give those tracks like more of like a back seat and more of these more elaborate tracks that I thought were amazing. Something I do gotta hand to Bardo is the production. The production in this thing is outstanding. He's always kept it real. As you guys know, I am a big sucker for synths, and he does not hesitate to incorporate those things. He also does like these really psychedelic sound waves and things of that nature that really adds to this like whole spatial journey and spiritual vibe. Very grooving. There wasn't a moment where I thought that the pacing was too slow or like boring at all. The only downsides, some downsides that I can say about this album is the like two tracks that are like just monologues, uh, which were how the rhythm came to be, where essentially he's explaining to his daughter about music and like how everything comes together full circle in music. He's just talking throughout that whole thing. The Sun Woman also, I believe it's his wife who's doing this monologue. That women are so empowering and that men wouldn't be nothing without women. Although I do agree, the track isn't necessarily like a real track. It's just her doing a monologue. I wouldn't be like, oh, I gotta listen to this track. However, I can't really penalize him too much for that. I mean, it's kind of like two interludes, even though there is a track called Interlude after the Sun Woman that I thought that was great production in that track. But then you do have songs like Take My Hand, Monday Morning, Neon Light, and New Day that just provide really awesome, upbeat, groovy type sounds. Psychedelic scene that comes from the LA area. Other songs like Interlude, Patterns of Being, and Saturn, more of a experimental type. Oh, and All Into Red, really experimental type tracks that really stray Bardo away from his comfort zone into this new theme and scene of sound that he's going to explore himself in. And I think they come out really good. Uh, However, there are some downfalls, like I mentioned before, with like the monologue tracks. There are some tracks that are kind of have to get used to, especially with his auto tune that sound like Travis Scott. That's probably the closest, like I said, I could compare it to. Uh, Not really much of a. I mean, I'm really beating myself up for giving this criticism, but maybe he didn't have the best equipment. When you listen to this with headphones, you can hear static in the background, which means that he recorded this mono probably. I mean, I don't know if that's so much of a penalization, but it is noticeable. Like I'm not trying to give him, the rundown for not having the best equipment, because this is a good album, and I'm giving this a 7. I wish I could give it more, and it kind of deserves higher, but I don't know. I think seven's a good place, given that this album was his debut album solo wise. He kind of goes on his own direction. Groovy beats, awesome production from him. That's probably the highlight of this thing is his production. Great messaging all around. Spiritual journey, finding yourself, loving his family altogether. Uh, risk taker, good experimentation from some of these tracks, and the other tracks, he keeps it original that the fans mostly know him for in Chicano Batman. Anyways, that is the review. It is a good 7. Hopefully y'all check it out. Link will be in the description below. Make sure you share and like and subscribe with a friend. uh, I will see you all in the next review. Peace and stay safe.